It's story time.
So I was stalked last week.
Oh no! Like a full on real stalker slasher movie. This is Halloween season.
It is. I don't know. I mean, I had no idea the stalker was there, and apparently had been stalking me for a few days. So it kind of, it didn't even freak me out because I didn't know it was even there.
So, this is like the movie Creep. Have you seen Creep?
I haven't seen Creep.
Oh, it's totally bizarro, crazy, gross. It's crazy.
So it wasn't until last Wednesday that I finally realized I had a stalker.
Uh-huh.
And apparently the stalker was wearing a mask.
What?
Yeah.
Like Michael Myers. Dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun, dun.
something even more sinister.
What? Now I want to know.
An asymptomatic mask.
Oh, no. The Rona?
The Rona, indeed.
Oh, no. Are you okay?
I'm actually okay. I didn't even know that I had been around COVID-19, but apparently someone who I came into close contact with had it. And so I have been stuck in quarantine for the past 8 days, and I've got 6 more to go. Now, all my tests have come back negative so far, but I can't tell you how much this sucks.
Dude, I can't even imagine. You just stuck inside all the while.
Yeah.
Just waiting around.
Yeah. And the only thing I can do to go in public is to get a COVID test. Have you had one yet?
No, I've been fortunate enough. I mean, I don't know. We were in pretty close contact back when we were doing school for 3 weeks before everything blew up again. So I probably should get one soon, considering I was engaged in high risk activity of just doing my job.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It feels like they're sticking a Q-tip into your brain. And that's the only thing I can do for 2 weeks.
Dude, that's terrifying. Just sitting in the house with brain swab off to the lab, waiting to find out. Oh, man. So, I mean, do I dare ask? Do you know the results?
Oh, for my first 2 tests were negative. We're waiting. That third test is the key. Because I took it today or yesterday. If I come back negative this time, I should be good to go.
Dude, well, let me know. Keep me posted.
Yeah, I know, right? Because we've been in close contact. I know.
Putting in my own morality, dude. So, killer on the loose, though. That's crazy.
It is, seriously. But it's not really the only killer disease that has stalked humans.
No, humanity has a long history with these hooded black figures in the back of the room, and we're about to run into today one of the worst ones of them all.
What are we talking about?
Oh, today we're going to hit up a little bit of the granddaddy of them all. We've touched on the Spanish flu. We've done COVID-19. But today we're talking about the Black Death.
Oh, it is the big one. Oh, it is.
All right, should we get started then?
We should get started.
All right. Welcome again to Storytime with a Histress, the podcast for world history students, teachers, and enthusiasts. It's world history, but told our way. And today we're going to take a deep dive, not just into the Black Death itself, but we're going to look at one particular Black Death story that is equal parts intriguing and vomit-inducing. We're going to check out the Genoese Plague Fleet. Are you ready for this?
I am. I mean, it goes with the Halloween theme. And the only concern I have is that we keep telling our listeners that we're going to have some positive podcasts, and I don't think we've quite delivered on it.
I think that's just one of those things. It's like infrastructure week. It's just going to happen eventually. It's not a political podcast. So before we get started, let's take a second and acknowledge our source, which is The Great Mortality and Intimate History of the Black Death, the Most Devastating Plague of All Time, by John Kelly. This is an excellent read. We've used it a couple times already in previous series. One you got to check out, and I mean it when I say it. We're gonna do the best we can here in spooky season on the eve of Halloween to try to get you to throw up and worry about not the monster under the bed, but the disease at the back door. All right. So I'm ready for this. I am excited to get deep into the blood and the gore and the mire of the Genoese Plague Fleet and what they did to humanity, allegedly.
We're such givers, aren't we, Matt?
Yes, we are. It's going to be a gold star episode. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to it. But I think before we can get into the Genoese fleet, a little bit of a crash course in the Black Death, some context. So you want to just kind of hit us with the real quick version, Crib Notes version of the Black Death?
Yeah, let's go with the what's the sparknotes.com or whatever they call it. Yeah. All right, so we know that, I mean, the big thing is we know that the plague burst into Europe around 1347, but the plague doesn't originate in Europe. We know that it comes out of Central Asia, most likely Western China. Marco Polo talks about the genesis point of the plague being in the Gobi Desert. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I can't imagine a disease really thrives in a hot, maybe they do, I don't know, dry environment.
About that. I think Marco Polo's full of it. Hot take.
And so the more likely emergent point is Lake Yaskul in Western China. And we know that the Mongols were responsible for the spreading of the plague. We know this, right?
Oh,
but yeah, if it originates in Central Asia, the Mongols take over Central Asia. Their horses are their bread and butter. Right. And fleas are going to get on horses.
Yep.
Which they do.
Yep.
And then, so they're going to have, that's how obviously the plague is transmitted. And so it's going to transfer from the horses. We think they transferred from them to the black rats, otherwise known as ratus ratus. Isn't that clever?
Ooh, some scientists really working overtime there.
So here we go. We're going to do the scientific version of the plague. So the Chiopus, which is the flea,
right,
jumped onto the ratus ratus and wreaked havoc on the world.
Spread by the Mongols,
yep.
Tearing through society. Donga da donga da dong. Like the Mongols are like old school. Like this is like Genghis Khan Mongols, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dang, dude. So we're talking like 1215 when this flea hitches a ride on this Mongol cavalryman, and it's going to take over 100 years before this plague starts burning down the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it definitely takes a while to spread. There is a grave of a Nestorian Christian in Lake Isyuk, and they think that might be patient one. Patient zero? Hello, patient zero, yes.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about like, what's that movie? World War Z.
Oh my God, I love that movie so much.
I knew you would. Zombies is your thing. Is this like when they go to
South Korea?
South Korea.
They find, and they look like they think patient zero is there and patient zero is not there. And speaking of which, just as a side note, Mr. Breen, I want to show you what I ordered today on Amazon. Got on Amazon today. A zombie survival MRE.
Ooh, what's in there?
We got some barbecue sauce wraps, some beef tacos, applesauce, corn nuts, all the big things for the zombie apocalypse.
Lots of keep you running, keep you moving.
Yeah.
You don't want to end up like the scientist in World War Z, and then like when they're getting off the plane, doesn't he like slip and fall and shoot himself in the head?
Yeah, something like that. And then like they think they're all hope. Okay. Yeah. Totally tangent. Going back to
we got to get back.
We got to get back.
Of course. It's okay.
So here it is in a nutshell. It originates in Central Asia. It is definitely spread by the Mongols and spread enough that by 1347, Europe is like, holy hell, what is this?
Okay.
Well, that's if they survive. Yeah.
So, but there's definitely some things have to happen, right, to get us from the Mongols and the Mongol spread to Europe in 1347. And for that, we're going to have to enter some new Mongols. So like, let's talk about like Genghis Khan is like old Mongols. He's like the Iron Maiden. No, not even Iron Maiden, like Black Sabbath.
There you go.
Genghis Khan's like the Black Sabbath. We're going to get so many metal emails. So I'll just go with this right now. Storytimewiththehistorist@gmail.com. If you have an opinion about any of the metal stuff I'm about to say, which I'm sure you do, if you're a metalhead, please feel free to email us and let me know how much of this I got wrong, because I know it matters. So Genghis Khan is Black Sabbath, right? He's like, I am Iron Man. And he's doing his thing all through Europe and Asia. And then he kind of dies because people die. And then like his great grandchildren, they start doing more like China. Like they're going off and doing this China thing.
Right.
And the Khanates all start to fall apart. And when the Khanates fall apart, then the like great grandchildren of Genghis Khan, great grandchildren of Genghis Khan, they want to try to bring things back. And we get this guy named Janny Beg, not Johnny, Janny. And he's like new metal. Right. So you know what I'm talking about with new metal.
So he would be like Already, you want to get people really upset?
Yes.
Would he be like Poison?
No. That's like hair metal. That's not even like real. I'm talking about like controversial metal takes, like something like Papa Roach or Limp Bizkit. Like, I'm one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break.
Whoa. What about 9 Inch Nails?
9 Inch Nails? I don't think
it's not metal, but
oh man, I'm about to box myself in. I think that's new metal. I don't know. This is not a metal podcast. I don't know.
Well, no, 9 Inch Nails would be more industrial, but
industrial
I think
metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, the point is that like these guys are trying to bring it back. Janny Beg is trying to bring it back, right? He wants to get the Mongol Empire. Like, he's adopted Islam. He's done some of the assimilation sort of stuff, but like he's looking around. The Ottomans are starting to cleave off big parts of territory. The Safavids, the Mughals, all these other like former like steppe people are starting to like take the crown. And Janny Beg, he's still Mongol to the core, right? And so he wants to go get some of this trade territory and revitalize like his khanate. So he goes to the city named Caffa. Caffa is on the Black Sea. The Black Sea is going to be like our nexus. It's going to be our jump off point.
You know, the Black Sea in history has just been something that everybody wants all the time. And generally not really good things tend to happen around the Black Sea. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just not good things, not good people. I'm looking at you, Vladimir Putin, and all the horrible things that
Stalin, Khrushchev. I know, those Russians, man.
The British.
Man.
Everybody's trying to the Turk. Yeah, you're right about that. The Black Sea is like the heart of darkness for like Europe. It's Europe's heart of darkness.
Nice illusion.
Yeah, I think so. The little crossover. We try to go deep here. So Caffa is the city that's built by the Genoese. And the Genoese are coming out of Italy, and they're in this huge competition both with like the Byzantine Empire and the Ottomans, but mainly the Venetians. Everybody's trying to flex trade right now because there's a lot of money to be had coming out of the Indian Ocean and Africa and Asia and everywhere else, right? Story as old as time. And so the Genoese, they build up this like crown jewel city, right? I've got a description here. Genoa was a premier trade power, and so many of the Genoese are so spread throughout the world that wherever one goes and stays, he makes another new Genoa there, kind of referring to or alluding to the fact that these guys are so rich, so powerful, so like entrepreneurial in spirit that they're just like franchising their home place. And Caffa is like the crown jewel, and that's where Janny Beg goes. Janny Beg is going to take this crown jewel, he's going to make this money, and he's bringing Mongols back, right? Or like what new metal wanted to be. But unfortunately, like all new metal artists, there's
whoa.
No,
Judgy McJudge.
It's a hot take. I'm sorry, man. Papa Roach, no. Limp Bizkit, no.
Oh, definitely not Limp Bizkit.
Linkin Park?
Don't be dissing Linkin Park.
I'm dissing on. I want step closer to the edge. And you know what? Just like Linkin Park, Janny Beg breaks. He breaks at Caffa.
Nice.
It's 1343. He starts the siege, and then 1347, he's still sieging. He's not old school Mongol. He's not Black Sabbath.
Break. I mean, it just
breaks. He breaks because the plague makes its way out of that place of Sikh Kul that you were talking about, down the Silk Road and into his army encampment around the city. And for the Christians inside of Caffa, they see this as like the grace of God, right? Like God's wrath against these horrible Muslims. And like the Christians on the walls can see the Mongol horde like dying this horrible death, right?
Gross. Yeah.
But Janny Beg, this is where Linkin Park did have some metal-esque sort of stuff. I'll throw that at you. So Janny Beg goes hardcore Mongol, and he's like, you know what I'm going to do with these plague bodies? I'm going to take these plague water balloons, essentially. I'm going to load them up on my catapults. I'm going to blast them over the wall. And he starts chemical germ warfare inside of Caffa.
So is his
the city.
So is his policy, if we're going to die from it, you are too?
Splat. Yep. So basically, along with all the other, stones and things he's thrown over the wall, every one of his dead soldiers gets thrown over the city walls, splats on the ground, starts spreading the disease. Gross. right? The Christians inside, they've been trying to endure this siege for 4 years. And even though it's a port city and they can get supplies, they're on their last legs. And eventually one of the walls surrounding Caffa over on like the north coast, the northwest coast, it's breached. Mongols come pouring in, city set on fire. This has got to be just like hell on earth, right? There's like exploded plague bodies everywhere. There's like emaciated, starving people. There's Mongols who are half dead. Like, this is straight zombie apocalypse.
Oh my God. See, this is my time period in history.
This is the muck and the mire. Yeah.
So the walls breach, and then so there are still obviously people alive in Caffa, and maybe or maybe don't have the plague, and they're going to want to get the hell out of Dodge, right? No one's going to sit there and go.
I mean, because it's like Slipknot, another metal reference for you, not new metal. I think this is like, I don't know, masked weirdo metal. Let the bodies hit the floor. All right. And so people are just dying left and right. Accounts from the time period that we have from the Great Mortality talk about bodies being stacked up like cordwood, just like piles of lumber just left there to rot, and like the rats are eating them and the fleas and all this gross stuff. Yeah. So some enterprising merchants load up whatever they can.
Oh yeah. Get out.
And they're just going to leave. So essentially, these are like these 18-wheelers hitting the road out into the Black Sea, loaded up with merchant marine guys, and they're going to go out and basically try to sell as much of the stuff that they took with them as they could. And unfortunately, they're going to be bringing a whole lot more than spices to their ports of call.
So these merchants escaping this hellscape, right? They're going to go trade. Didn't they think that perhaps after escaping plague-infested Caffa, I mean, were none of them sick? Like, did anybody have any idea that, oh my gosh, like, what are we doing?
I don't know.
They didn't just head home and say, you know what, we're going to cut our losses and call it good.
No way, man, because you got to make that money. It's in their Genoese DNA. They're going to make that money. They're going to hit all sorts of places. They're going to go to Rome. They're going to go to Sicily. They're going to go to Constantinople. They're going to make money because that's what Genoa does, right? They're industrious, like we talked about. Everywhere they go, they sprout up a new Genoa, right? They're kind of like a Johnny Appleseed for their own people, but they're also kind of like this Johnny Appleseed of like plague, unfortunately, and they're moving around and they're dropping plague everywhere. Do you remember Johnny Appleseed when we were like kids? You know what I'm talking about?
Didn't we read some story around the 4th grade revolutionary? I don't know, Johnny.
I don't know. It's probably some Disney propaganda that we got as children. And if it's not Disney now, I'm sure it will be soon. Yeah. And it's like the rhyme was like, everywhere Johnny goes, an apple tree does grow. I think. I don't know. On the off chance that I made that up, I'm going to go ahead and just trademark that right now. That's legal now that I've said it on live radio. So
I'm pretty sure it's been said before, but you know.
Probably. I don't have original ideas.
So are you sure that, okay, if Johnny Appleseed is dropping an apple a day, and it's a tree, our English people will be really happy with us. A tree is an archetype for life and growth.
That's right.
That doesn't seem to quite work.
I see what you're saying. I got it. All right. I'm also I'm not original, but I got it. Do you remember South Park's Mr. Hanky?
I do.
Yeah, you remember.
Oh, yeah.
So for everybody who's listening to the podcast who's under the age of 21, probably have no idea what I'm talking about or what we're talking about. So Mr. Hanky was the Christmas poop.
And didn't Kyle create him because there was like Jewish people and Christians and they were freaking out over the holidays and no one's happy, and he wanted to create some like inoffensive symbol for Christmas.
Exactly. Something that would spread joy. And that's like the Genoese. Because the Genoese
is the Genoese Death Fleet.
They're spreading joy to all, like joy in the form of spices and trade goods to all of these different cities, these hubs. And then just like in the South Park episode, whenever Kyle gets caught with Mr. Hanky,
oh my God,
Mr. Hanky just plops down. And then people look at the room and Kyle's like, Mr. Hanky was here. And people just look and there's just poop smeared on everywhere. Because Mr. Hanky's been jumping around and singing songs. And there's just poop all over everybody that Mr. Hanky touched and every surface. And that's the Genoese plate.
That is a great comparison.
So the archetype here is poop. This is a tried and true bit on
poop
this podcast.
Equals death.
When in doubt, go back to poop jokes. So, all right. So the Genoese plague fleet is Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poop, who should be spreading joy, but instead is spreading poo on everything it touches.
Disease. Instead of E. coli, it's spreading plague. It's the same thing.
Yes, yeah, it's Yersinia pestis, right? It's this like awful bacteria. And I think here's where we can start like going away from the Cliff Notes, Spark Notes, and we can get a little bit of depth on this thing. And we're going to do that by breaking down first some of the reactions to this fleet showing up. And then I've got our gold star vomit inducing moment. Yes. So why don't you take us through because like at first people are going to see Genoese ships and they're going to be like, we're getting spices and stuff. Yeah.
It's like, it's like when the new iPhone 12 hits the stores, people are lining up, right? Well, we have one chronicler from Este who, direct quote here, accursed galleys spread the plague to Constantinople, Messina, Sardinia, Genoa, Marseille, and many other places. The Genoese wrought far more slaughter and cruelty than even the Saracens.
Oh, dude, that's like hardcore.
That is hardcore
school shade throwing. If for our listeners, the Saracens are the Muslims. Like this is Christian versus Muslim. This is the age of religious animosity and hatred. Right. To say that your Christian brothers are worse than your worst enemies, that's harsh.
That's harsh. Oh, it gets better. There's a Sicilian account that says, "Speak, Genoa. What have you done? 3 galleys loaded with spices, storm driven from the east by the stinking breath of the wind, full of infected sailors."
Oh, man. Yeah. Dude, so he called them out. Speak, Genoa?
Yeah.
Whew. This is like old timey. This is like the cities don't even really have rivalries anymore, do they? Like, I don't even know. Like,
what about Denver and Oakland? Kinda, yeah. Football.
Maybe.
Oh, football. Sorry, they're not even Oakland anymore. They're Los Angeles.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas now. Yeah.
It's even worse.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know what this would be like. I mean, this is, you know what it is, and this is controversial. This is like a truly controversial take. This is similar to what the world is doing right now with China.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
This is like that idea of like throwing down on this this intentionality to spreading the disease.
Like we're doing on purpose.
And I think in this case, we're going to find out that for the Genoese, that might be a little much, right?
Yeah, I don't think they were doing this on
purpose. And in fact, like by the time because the reputation for this death fleet grows and grows.
Right.
And by the time they hit Genoa, I know you've got one more account here of what happens when the Genoese plague fleet actually gets to Genoa itself.
They won't let them in. Genoa, from the shores, they attack the ships with flaming arrows, which is huge because these are wooden ships. That's going to, burn the wooden ship down. They wouldn't let them in. If they did get in, they saw like nasty, decrepit sailors who are tumbling off. Like it was nasty. They felt like the apocalypse had arrived. So it like was
the living dead.
Yeah. So by the time it hit Genoa, I think by that time people knew what was going on, and now they just have no way to stop it.
They're just not letting people in, right?
Yeah.
And I think that I think we're ready for our gold star moment. I think we got to get into a little bit of these apocalyptic scenes. These who's the artist who did all those really creepy post Renaissance paintings? Ulbrich, I think.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, like the woodcuts that are like super. That's metal. Like that's
you're talking the ones with the skeletons and stuff. Yeah.
And they're like super disturbing to look at. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not this new metal. Like I'm gonna wear a mask and tilt my head all funny sort of stuff. Like that's like old school. That's the sort of stuff that inspires Black Sabbath, right? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna use our trigger warning. Now I'm borrowing this trigger warning from a podcast that I love. Last Podcast on the Left, for all things spooky, spectral, and totally crazy, out of control. Check it out on Spotify. Maybe if we plug them enough, they'll plug us one day.
Ooh, who knows?
Doubt it. But they have this thing called the gold star moment, and the gold star refers to when you hear something that is so awful that if you were to make it through that without fast forwarding the podcast, you can give yourself a gold star.
Oh, nice.
So this is going to be us with our own gold star moment. And this is going to be gold star for gruesome.
All right.
So I've got an excerpt here from The Great Mortality that lets us know what these ships would have been like. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, trigger warned.
I'm there. Hit me with it.
All right. Clear was what happened once Caffa slipped below the horizon. On the second or third day at sea, a mariner awakes feeling feverish. After he falls asleep again, a shipmate steals his flea-infested jacket. A few days later, the thief is ill. As word of the men's illness spreads through the ship, panicky crew members gather in the horse stalls on the lower deck to share rumors and conspire. That night, there's a splash off the aft side of the ship. Then a second. No one raises an alarm as the bodies sink below the surface in a cone of rippling moonlight. As the days lengthen, the disease takes hold. Men begin to turn on one another, as they will later in Europe when the plague arrives. There are beatings, murders, summary executions, mutinies. Only the progress of the pestilence prevents complete anarchy. Men become too ill to kill, then too ill to work. A helmsman with a neck bubo is strapped to the helm, a ship's carpenter with a bloody cough to his bench, a rigger shaking with fever is lashed to the mast. Gradually, each escaping vessel becomes a menagerie of grotesques. Everywhere there are delirious men who talk to the wind and stain the pants with bloody leakages, and weeping men who cry out for absent mothers and wives and children, and cursing men who blaspheme God, wave their fists at an indifferent sky, and burble blood when they cough. There are men who ooze pus from facial and body sores and stink to high heaven, lethargic men who stare listlessly into the cool gray sea, madmen who laugh hysterically and dig filthy fingernails into purple mottled flesh, and dead men whose bloated bodies roll back and forth across pitching decks until they hit a rail or mast and burst open like pinatas.
Oh, that's nasty. I just have that image of hitting that dead body and the intestines flying everywhere like pinata candy. Oh,
yeah, dude. So what we're describing here is
disgusting.
Necrosis.
Yeah, your body's
necrosis is when you're, like you said, your flesh dies, but you're still alive.
Oh.
These people are literally rotting to death. And they've got these horrible, like, all right, I know our audience. There's people out there, they popped a pimple. It's harsh. It's gross, and it hurts. A bubo is like a pimple on steroids, like a baseball or softball size zit that can form in your armpits or your groin or on your neck around your lymph nodes.
Gross. That's gross.
And it's filled with gold star. This is our gold star moment here.
Isn't it filled with like black blood because it's sepsis?
Dead black blood. It's septic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so to try to stem the infection, all right, here it comes. Trigger warning, gold star number 2.
Oh God.
You got to take that hot knife, a hot poker, and you're going to pierce the bubo, and it's going to explode like this
gross,
horrible, like water balloon. I don't even know. And then I'm going to ruin somebody's like the rest of their childhood. I'm sorry for then the pus is going to come out like soft serve, and it's going to be
that's disgusting, dude. That's like black with soft blood. Serve. That's
exactly
gross.
And if you don't get it all out, then the infection remains, and you're going to have to do that with each one of the buboes. And then if the infection spreads throughout the rest of your lymph nodes, you're going to die. So, and what we described was bubonic plague. That's the one with the flea bites you and you get all this nastiness, and we get like ring around the rosy and all that nastiness. And then there's going to be like later, like pneumonic plague, when you start like coughing up plague and like, you know, aerosol blood on people, and that'll get people sick. And then there's this like straight up like septic plague, when the plague doesn't even like last long enough in your body. It literally kills your blood, and people die from that in like 17 hours.
Isn't it like SARS? Isn't that what SARS does or something?
SARS is like I think it's a respiratory. I don't know.
Something with sepsis, like blood poison. That sepsis is blood poisoning. It's really bad.
Sepsis is blood poisoning. Yeah, and you like it's like awful. It's awful.
You don't want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And people didn't know how to treat this either.
Not entirely. Didn't the Muslims with the
They did better.
caliphates, because they had a better understanding of human anatomy and disease.
Yeah, but they still had a pretty high 30-40% death rate.
Yeah, that's bad.
The Europeans clock in like 60%, and that's where I want to throw a little bit of skepticism at this story right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, you talked about it before, like these guys who are out there on the ships, like how did they actually make this work? Like even that account, that's like 4 or 5 days.
That's what I was.
Are dead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because when you hear the stories of the Black Plague in Europe, like you last like 2 or 3 days. It takes a heck of a lot longer than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, to sail. Caffa.
Wouldn't they be dead by the time they got there?
Yeah, maybe, if you do the math, if you do the math, and John Kelly does this in the book as well, like the likelihood that they even made it to Constantinople is really low. But what's crazy about this is that the Genoese plague fleet shows up in the official archives of all those cities that you listed off. I mean, their last known sighting, they go from Genoa, they get kicked out of Genoa, so they go to Majorca. And they like infect people there, and the whole island burns down, like 60,000 dead or something awful. Then they go to the French city of Marseille, lather, rinse, repeat, more dead people. And then they make it through the Strait of Gibraltar, and the last known sighting is outside of London. That's where people are claiming to have seen these Genoese ships. Well, and I think they could have seen the ships. I'm just not sure they're as deadly as they're being made out. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, not to get so like too big science on this, and I definitely don't want to like suggest like there was like some sort of superhuman capability, but there are some genetic markers that render some people, like you said at the top, that like you can be an asymptomatic carrier. You could have the disease, or you could be a vector for the fleas. So you're carrying the fleas that get to other people, and you're not dying. So there are people with these special like alleles in their body that make it possible to not die. But I don't know. No, but that totally makes sense, because even with COVID right now, there's a bunch of studies coming out that if you have like O negative blood or O positive blood, that you are less susceptible to a serious form of COVID. And I do have O negative, so here's to hoping. But I mean, I could totally see that some people just have natural immunity. That happens with any disease. Yeah, I think though, what's more likely, I think if we're just looking at more likely, and we can again draw from COVID. Yeah, what sounds to me like is like these guys probably made it to Constantinople. And then once I got to Constantinople, there was enough overland trade, and there's enough like people coming in and out of that harbor. Probably, yeah. That this is probably really similar to when the United States decided to like close up shop, and everybody started rushing back to the United States in April of 2020. And instead of like keeping COVID at bay, inadvertently these like super spreader events at airports were created. And then once we got into the cities, and then it went from there. And after that point, like you weren't going to keep it out anyway. But I don't know. I feel for the Genoese plague fleet a little bit, because I feel like they're getting like, man, just Mr. Hanky. They were just trying to spread joy. Spread some joy. I mean, they didn't try to spread that poop. I mean, hi-ho, everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, the Christmas poop, the plague fleet. I mean, what are you going to do? Bad raps in history. So that is the story of the Genoese plague fleet. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are a ray of sunshine. A ray of sunshine. Hopefully happy things. Yeah. If you enjoy our Ray of Sunshine podcast, please make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify or iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. You can also share our delightful podcast with a friend, or support us on anchor.fm. Absolutely. And I've been meaning to plug this, and I don't remember if I said it. Like, I don't know, our made up publicist, who is my daughter, keeps telling me to tell the students, tell them about the music, because my kid's into music like me. So every episode, if you follow us on Instagram at Storytime at the Histress, I do post up in our stories a link to my own personal Spotify account, where we have accompanying songs. And if you haven't guessed it already, this week we're gonna have some metal heavy stuff. We got some plague stuff for you. We got some Johnny Appleseed and a little Mr. Hanky there for you. Yeah, Mr. Hanky. We got them all. We got them all there. So that's at Time Bomb. at Spotify. 30, 45 minutes of some good music that will both help create a little metacognition and just maybe expose you to something new that you haven't heard before. So check that out.
Wow. Mood music for our podcasts.
If your mood is dark and grotesque like mine is all the time, then yes.
Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us today. And until next time, we will see you later.
Bye.